Can you hear me? Yes. You can hear me, right? Yes. Aisha, Nur Rahma, Shamira, all of you keep the camera switch on. Earthern Goblet upside down. Hello? Hello? Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Shit. Hello? Yeah. Now done. Okay. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Pitte. Switch
Good
on the
evening.
cameras, all of you. Right. So today, all the girls, they have done their presentation. Aska, did you perform your presentation, Puta?
The camel's hump, madam?
Camel's hump, yes, last Friday.
No, miss. I'm having exams these days, so I didn't.
You didn't prepare even.
Yeah, madam.
What about today?
Madam, next Monday I have literature exam, so this Friday shall I perform?
Right. What about Sandika? Are you ready? Last week I told you Sandika, Yadav, Aishar, Gagana, all the boys. Sandika, are you ready? Sandika, your audio. You have an issue with your audio device. Aisha Maulana, Shamira. Aisha Maulana didn't do the presentation. Litomia didn't do the presentation. Chalaksha, you did? No, you didn't. Noor Rahma, you did, right?
Yes, teacher.
Amodya did. Shamira didn't. So you guys are ready today, I hope. I'm not going to ask one by one. I'm going to put you on the spotlight. You ready? Yes, good. Very good. Get ready. I'm going to call you one by one because you don't need extra time. You have learned it. I have given the explanation. With that, what you have understood, just tell me. That's more than enough. Sandika, adjust your devices. Get ready. Touch when. Shamira, why you didn't come? What you did? Why you need the laptop? Why do you need the laptop? To do the presentation? You come in front and okay. So first of all, what happened to Sandika? Shamira will put Samira first and later on we'll go to the other one. Okay.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, Ute. Yes, Shamira.
Teacher, I couldn't prepare it because of the sport meet practice.
You didn't prepare.
Teacher, I
Why?
couldn't prepare it because of the sports meet practice.
Because
No, teacher, I couldn't prepare it because of the sports meet practices.
you had sport meet practices. So you could not find 20 minutes for the preparation.
Yes,
Is that so? Is that so? So entire week from last Tuesday to this week. And I started this poem before that. And I sent the notes as well. So you could not find 20 minutes of time for the preparation. Right? Do I want to believe that? So now 4:24. If you have started by 3, you could have done it. Right? I had sport practices, this and that. Those are just excuses. Right. Yadav, you ready? Are you going to join the Class? What about Litumya?
Madam, can I just hear another one doing it because it's my first time and
Okay, Chalaksha. What about Chalaksha? Okay. Next, Aisha Maulana, get ready.
So I'm going to do the presentation on the Camel's Hump by Rudyard Kipling. This poem goes under the theme of humor. As a whole, this poem gives a moral lesson to us. The camel's hump is an ugly lump, which you may see at the zoo. But the uglier the hump we get from having too little to do. In the first stanza, the poet speaks to the reader. The poet seems to have a repulsive feeling about this hump of the camel. That's why he addresses the camel's hump as an ugly lump. He further says that we can also see this hump at the zoo. And he further says that the hump we get as human is far uglier than the hump that the camel gets. And he also mentions the reason for this hump. He mentions that the reason for this to get the hump is to having too little to do, which is being laziness. The camel's hump basically symbolizes laziness. According to the famous folktale how the camel got his hump, the camel got his hump as a punishment for his laziness. And naturally, the animals have a special feature to identify them. It can be external organ, a color, or a sound, etc. Just like that, the camel also has a hump to identify. Biologically, the camel have this hump to store fat inside because the camel is an animal who lives in the desert. But poetically and mythologically, the poet says this hump is occurred due to his laziness. We usually do not use the word laziness for animal, do we? So this the word laziness is a common word used for man's lethargic or inactive behavior. So it's obvious from the first stanza the poet wants to convey that the idea of how unpleasant or repulsive laziness can be in the people among the society. On the other hand, the camel's hump is tangible and visual, while the human's hump is intangible and imaginative. Kiddies and grown-ups too, if we haven't enough to do. We get the hump, the camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. The poet adds more humor in this stanza. The poet says that both young children and adults who do not work get the hump in black and blue. Humor is created through this long vowel sound and the visual and color image. The long vowel sound creates the feeling of continuous sluggish or drowsy behavior. The sounds are also effective to create the feeling of the body movements like stretching or yawning when one feels lazy. The humor of the poem boosts when the poet when the long vowel sounds are blend with the sound of the camellia's hump, the word camellia's hump. The poet has coined this word to suggest the hump of the camel. Thus, the visual imagery of camellia's hump suggests that there is a possibility of having a hunchback that if you do not do hard work or sit or due to sitting on one position as a habit. We climb out of bed with a frowsy head and a snarly voice. We shiver and scowl and we grunt and we growl at our bath and our boots and our toys. The poet further visualizes the behavior of the humans. He points out how people wake up in a dazed state because they are too lazy to do anything. It's really humorous that they do not actually wake up, but they climb out. So the opposite of the word climb up is climb down. Then what is climb out? This could be meaning to stumbling out of bed in a sleepy mood. That's why they have a frowsy head. Frowsy head is an adjective coined to mean dazed or fuzzy state. When a person naturally wakes up, he does not have a frowsy head. Instead, he can even plan the day's work on the bed. After climbing out of the bed, their voice sounds very snarly because they are grouchy and hot-tempered. For them, the morning is not a blessing but a curse, and they shiver angrily, frown, grunt and howl when they do even normal daily activities, like having a bath, wearing boots, or playing with toys. They make a lot of fussing and buzzing because they are too reluctant to work. It is really humorous when thinking that even having a bath or a wash is The poet vividly brings out the laziness of human in the morning through visual imagery and auditory imagery. And they have to be a corner for me. And I know there's one for you. When we get the hum, the camellia's hum, the hum that is black and blue. In this stanza, the poet speaks to a reader, an imaginary listener. He admits that that he is also lazy, and there is a place for him to fix this hum. And he assumes that the reader is also lazy. Reader or the listener is also lazy, so there is another hum deserved for the reader too. Then all get the hums like the camellias as a punishment for their laziness. The color of the hump is black and blue. So this black and blue suggests pain, loathsomeness or unpleasantness. From this stanza, the poet brings out the visual imagery of a number of humpback people there are in a society or a group. For this cure, the cure for this is not to sit still or frowst with a book by the fire, but to take a large hoe and a shovel also, and dig till you gently perspire. In this stanza, the poet prescribes the remedy for this laziness. It is not just to waste time sitting somewhere quietly or reading a book near the fireplace with enclosed by a stuffy atmosphere. The poet thinks that these actions make a human more lethargic and inactive rather than being energetic. It is true that some children and elders take books and newspapers and sit somewhere for read. But what they actually do is not reading. They yawn or nod, and the content they absorb is very little. Instead, the poet recommends them to do physical activities like digging the earth with a large hoe or shovel until they gently sweat. Thus, the poet conveys the message of working hard, of hard working to get rid of laziness, which is the poet conveys the idea of hard working to get rid of laziness, which is a sickness to the most of the people throughout their lives. And then you will find the sun and the wind, and the vision of the garden too have lifted the hump, the horrible hump, the hump that is black and blue. In this stanza, the poet reveals the benefits of working hard in the garden. we are exposed to the sun and wind. As a result, we also become a part of the nature. In the second line, the poet says that we can also meet the jinn in the garden. Who is this jinn? According to the mythology, the jinn is a magical supernatural creature who rose in the dusk. He is in charge of all the deserts. And this jinn also grants wishes of people and animals with his magical powers. According to the tale, how the camel got its big hump, the jinn created the hump on the camel's back as a punishment for his laziness. It suggests that the jinn truly loves hard works and punishes the people who are lazy. The poet just possesses natural and supernatural powers, and he says that supernatural powers. He says that these powers help the people lift their hump, which is the hump which is the laziness. The horrible hump is a metaphor for extreme laziness, and it can be expressed in a better term, indolence. However, a poet emphasizes that the one and only remedial action for the sickness of laziness is to work hard. I get it as well as you. If I haven't enough to do, we all get the hump. The camellias hump, kiddies and grown-ups too. In the last stanza, the poet says that he will also not be an exception to remain without a hump if he doesn't work hard. Hence, it is also common that the people, whether they are young or old, get a hump if they keep on avoiding hard work. Again, the repetition of long vowel sounds and the word camellia's hump adds more comic and more mock effect to the poem. After reading the poem, it is sure that children will have repeating the long vowel sound like so, to, do with their friends. In this stanza, we can also point a special behavior of the poet. The poet does not put the blame on one part of the society or one person. Instead, he also admits that he is also lazy, and he says that this message brought by him is common for all. As the literary devices used in the poem, there's a unique form and structure. The poem consists of 7 stanzas, but there's no uniformity of the number of lines or the length of the line. And the poet uses narrative form. The poet addresses the reader or an imaginary listener by using the pronoun you. And other than that, poet has used language, sarcasm, imagery, juxtaposition, like the poet, like in the previous stanza, the poet mentions the juxtaposition of supernatural and natural powers that help the lazy people lift their hump. And symbolism and most importantly humor is used in this poem. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Chalaksha. Chalaksha has given a lengthy explanation. I request you guys, that's okay if you want to give me a lengthy explanation. I have mentioned this one earlier as well. Record it, send me. But make sure your class presentation do not last more than 4 minutes, right? 3 minutes more than enough. My expectation is 3 minutes. If you want, you can extend it for 4 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. Please do not take more than that, right? No matter how many details you have collected, if you take 10 to 15 minutes, I'm unable to stop you in the middle because I feel bad. I feel uncomfortable When a child is doing the presentation in the middle, how can I ask, okay, enough, stop? I can't say so because it's very difficult for me. So please don't put me into uncomfortable situation, uncomfortable place. And I can't give one person 15 minutes out of 2 hours. So how can I conduct other things, right? As we have planned to complete the syllabus within second term, and for that I can't rush. I can't just rush. I want to take the presentation, but make sure you give me the presentation, putting all the details in a nutshell. Give me the best, right? Give me the best point. Give me the best version of the appreciation you have prepared for your presentation. Chalaksha, you have done a great job, but the problem is we are left with the time, Huda. Okay, right. We'll go with who this one? Sandika. Then Yadav, get ready.
Okay.
Okay. Sandika, go ahead.
So the Camel's Hump is a poem written by Rudyard Kipling. Now Rudyard Kipling is a British writer who gives a message to people on life certain things, and it gives us a very good morale to people. So the Camel's Hump is also a poem like that, and the Camel's Hump is symbolized as lazy and as ugly. So the writer has used dark humor, sarcasm, irony to show how lazy the camel's hump is and how it is compared to people as well. So the poem starts by saying the camel's hump is an ugly lump, which well you may see at the zoo. So the zoo is a common place that people normally go. And these two lines indirectly symbolizes that a lot of people have the camel's hump because I think the zoo is symbolized as the society because the zoo is a common place where people go. It's not a thing like a rocket or something. It's just a common place. So I think the camel's hump is normal in society. And in the next line, the poet says, "But uglier is the hump we get from having too little to do." So we know that all the camels have humps, and it's not a thing to be, shy about, even though they are lazy. But people do it willingly. People get the laziness willingly if they try to be more energetic and more active. They don't get the hump, and if we get the hump, people will insult us. So it's quite ugly. So kiddies and grown-ups too, if we haven't enough to do. So this symbolizes that all the people in the society get the hump, no matter the age. People get the hump if we don't do enough things. So the cure for this is to not sit still or frowst with a book by the fire, but to take a large hoe and shovel also, and dig till you perspire. So the writer has said the cure for this is not to frowst with a book by the fire. We know that books are good, but the thing is that we don't get active by reading books. We just get things to our brain. So the hump in here in this poem is symbolized to the human as their laziness or their obesity and all. So it's not a good thing, and the cure for this is to be active. The writer has simply told that throughout the poem. So if we do this, we will get the hump removed by the jinn. The jinn is there's no jinn, but we get the hump removed automatically. That's what the poet says here. And the jinn of the garden too have lifted the hump, the horrible hump. So if we get active, we will the hump will be removed from us. So in conclusion, the poet has used poet has used various literary devices, techniques to show us that how laziness affects our lives by saying that our hump is uglier than the camel's hump, and how the activeness of us will be able to build our life. So in conclusion, we shouldn't be lazy and be active, because if we get lazy, we will have consequences of it. Like in here saying, and there ought to be a corner for me when we get the hump, the camellia's hump. So the corner is the hospital, and if we don't be active, we will also go to the hospital. So we should be active. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. This is what exactly I want. This is what exactly I want. The core of the poem, right? The most important story, the most important messages, and the exactly the core, right? Core of the poem. Who is the writer? What he has written? What is the main messages, and how he has delivered the message in a strongest way? And what are the minute point? What are the essential points mentioned in the poem? Right? So that I need to know that you have understood my explanation, right? You are on the right track. I just want to check whether you guys have prepared for this poem with the correct understanding. That is, I am trying to check here. Right, Sandika, thank you so much, Vute. Next, Yadav.
You're welcome.
Huh? Okay, right. We'll start the next lesson. Today, I am going to start the poem. You want me to start father and son or other and goblet? Which one you want?
Madam, I also can present today, madam.
Okay, Azka. Azka, give me 2 minutes. You be there. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be there. Hurry. Okay.
Okay.
Aska, right. Switch on the camera quickly. Aska? Hello? Can you hear me? No? Yes, can. Aska, switch the camera on. Start your work with it.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'm here to present about the poem The Camel's Hump. The Camel's Hump by Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard Kipling he was a poet who born in India, Bombay, and one of his famous writing was Jungle Book. We all know that book, right? It's a famous book. And when we move to this poem is quatrain style stanza poem. That means 4 line stanza poem, and the camel's hump is an ugly lump, which well you may see at the zoo. But uglier yet is the lump we get from having too little to do. Kiddies and grown up too. If we haven't enough to do, we get the hum, the camellia's hum, the hum that is black and blue. So here we say, here the poet is saying the camel's hump is uglier, and what he's trying to deliver is, if we get the hump itself, the hump symbolizes the laziness, bad temper, emotional heaviness. So the poet is telling, if we are having with this laziness quality, it lead to many disadvantage, bad effects. So, and then there is a hump lump, the alliteration is shown, it enhances the rhythm, hump lump. So, and then the if we and the camellia's hump, camellia's hump, the poet is showing the neologism means he is by this word he is trying to represent the bad effect. In the upcoming stanzas also, camellia's hump is repeating, repetition is shown. So he is trying to represent the bad effects of being laziness. uh, and the uh, th- and the third stanza, we climb out of bed with a frosty head and a snarly voice. We shiver and scowl, and we grunt and we growl at our bath and our boots and our toys. And there ought to be a corner for me, and I know there is one for you. When we get the hum, camellia's hum, the hum that is black and blue. Black symbolizes the negativity, blue like sickness, depression, etc. So when we take this, here the third stanza says, when we wake up with the laziness, we are wake up with the laziness most of the time. That's the truth, right? We are wake up in that manner. That it is not good. That is a not good quality. And here, snarly voice, the onomatopoeia is shown, and also it shows the bad and we shiver and scold and we grunt. Here it shows the theme of the bad temper. And the next stanza, it shows that if we are being the lazy, the effect of is the hospital. We have a particular place. Not only the writer, everyone who is being lazy will be in that place because of because of the diseases, physical, mental, all the disease will come because of that. And then the next one, the cure for this ill is not to sit still or frowsed with a book by the fire, but to take a large hoe and a shovel also and dig it till you gently perspire. So this poem is a direct address. Then we see the past poem, we see those every poem shares the indirect address, right? But this is a direct address poem. So the poet is telling a solution for this. If we have to engage in physical labor with the personal experience or with my vision, I'm saying that only reading the book, only studying the book won't bring a success to us, because we need a practical experience. Even though we are a topper, even though we are top, if we don't have a practical experience, we can't succeed. That's with my own vision, with my own experience, I'm saying. And then you will find that sun and the wind and the jinn of the garden too have lived at the hum, the horrible hum, the hum that is black and blue. I get it as well as you. So here and then the first line, it's saying that the nature is medicine for everything. So it shows the healing power of nature, the theme of the healing power of nature. And here also, here you can say in each and every stanzas, you can say you, to, the words are to, do, and you can see that words, right? So it create a musical and rhythmic tone to the poem. And then up to here we have we saw many in the throughout this poem we can see the imagery. In many parts we can see the imagery. And the last stanza, if I haven't enough to do, we all get the hum, the camellia's hum, kiddies and grown-ups too. We think we are kids, we can be lazy, we can be free. No, we can't. All it is a universal human nature. All the people, if they are being lazy, if they didn't engage in any physical works, and if they think that only the book can bring the solution, then they are wrong. They fails in their life. We need both. We have to balance both equally. So that's the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening my presentation until the end.
Thank you so much, Aska, for giving a very clear, to the point explanation about the poem and understanding the concept with a clear clarity, right? Thank you so much. Are you ready? Huh?
Excuse me, Miss.
Yes. Yes, darling.
Miss, after the next person, can I also?
Are you going to add yourself?
I'm also ready with my presentation. Miss.
Okay, right. Go ahead.
Good evening to my dear teacher and my dear friends. Today I'm here to talk about The Camel's Hump, written by Rudyard Kipling. So he was a poem who was born in India, and then he had written like famous books. And one such example is the Jungle Book. And he was like he writes poems and stories usually with a moral. And the same poem, like a poem with a moral, one such example is The Camel's Hump. So at first he addresses the hump that was given to the camel. So he says that the camel's hump is an ugly lump. So at first he gives the impression of a lump that is dirty, or else like inactive and unappealing image for the readers. And then he says that which will you may see at this zoo. But uglier yet is the hump we get from having too little to do. Then after he goes on criticizing the harm that the people get, because people they try to be lazy and try to be idle without doing any work. So he criticizes our hump, which is very uglier compared to a camel's hump. And he reveals the cause of the hump by saying that from having too little to do. So this shows the inactivity can become a cause for the lazy, like inactivity can become the cause for the unappealing nature of the human body. uh, like we get the lump. Lump is something that is swollen under the skin, so it can be at like just like the camel has it at its back on top of its backbone. The human also can get it, like just like the people who have big stomachs and all. And then kiddies and grown-ups too. So he says that he addresses that not only kids, not only the adults, but everyone, regardless of their age, their status, everyone get this hump if they be lazy. And he says that if we haven't enough to do. So this shows that by just calling ourselves we are lazy, by just complaining of a boredom, we cannot escape. And this tone of to and do, it symbolizes that it could also be have written for children as one of the playful poems. As well as this, if we look at another side, this could enhance the grumpiness of the human like nature, because it exaggerates the lump that we get. And he says that the camellia's hump, so he exaggerates the hump that we get to the camel. And then he says that our hump that we get is black and blue. So this black, it symbolizes the negativity, so this shows the negative effects of idleness. As well as blue, it symbolizes the laziness and depression, as well as it shows the sickness. So finally, by complaining our laziness and when we don't do any physical efforts, finally, when we get a lot of work to do, we don't know from where to start. So that could create a depression in our minds. And then he creates a vivid imagery about how the behaviors of the people when they wake up, uh, of those who are lazy. So he says that we climb out of bed with a frowsly head. So this shows that this frowsly gives an image of dirty and an untidy picture. And then he says in a snarly yarly voice. So this could show the physical sign of temper, and people are aggressive when they are too lazy. So it gives a mental picture of how the people would be when they are too lazy. And then he says that we shiver and scowl and we grunt and we growl. He he gives the different sounds that are made by these people. Grunt, it is the sound of a pig. So he compares and criticizes the people who are too lazy to the pig sound, which is the pigs are also somewhat lazier. And then he says that at our bath and our boots and our toys. So even while doing our daily routine, we get annoyed, and it shows the annoyance of people. They get anger when they do the physical activities. And then he says that, and there ought to be a corner for me, and I know there is one for you. So he says, not me, not you, but including everyone, the people of this earth. If they are lazy, there would be a special hidden place for them. And when we look deep into the meaning, this special hidden place could even symbolize the hospital, because finally when the people are depressed, they should get admitted to a hospital. So he just foreshadows the future events of what would happen if people are lazier. He again he again repeats the points when we get the hump, camellia's hump, the hump that is black and blue. So this repetition shows the absurdity of this hump, and it showcases he asks us not to be lazy by this repetition. He highlights the importance of not being lazy, and by being lazy what would occur in the future. And then he gives the remedy for the problem that he had addressed in the beginning. So he says that the cure for this ill is not to sit still. So he asks us to do something meaningful, to do something to do a physical effort, or else a labor. Like he asks us to do a physical labor. Oh, frowns with a book by the fire. Even though you go by the fireside and sit with a book, there's nothing. Even though like your mentality, it could get increased, but your physical nature would not get increased. That means you won't get enhanced in your physical nature. There's nothing, still you're not moving your body. So he asks us to move, and then he says, but to take a large hoe and a shovel also, and dig till you gently perspire. So this hoe and shovel shows the productive labor. So he asked to do the hard work, and this sweat symbolizes that just by being sweat, by just doing something meaningful, and by uh, by sweating, for the amount of sweat, the even the hump that you get, your laziness would also be decreased for the amount of sweat that goes. And then you will find that the sun and the wind. So sun and wind indicates the natural forces. So these natural forces, the sun, it shows the renewal, because the sun rises and it sets every day, and it gives the light. So the sun works the whole day, as well as the wind, it breezes. So the sun, wind, both provide an environment for the people to work. But when people are lazy, even the nature would be against. But if the people start to work, even if they had already if they already had a hump, the sun and wind would be supportive to take over it. So this shows the healing power of nature, and how the natural forces are supportive, how they come together when when a person starts to work. And the jinn of the garden too. So in the Arabian mythology, this is the genie of the garden, which says that. So this was the jinn that had given the hump, that is believed to be given the hump for the camel. So even the jinn would lift the hump of the human, and by calling the human's hump as horrible, he highlights the consequences of the inactiveness as well as the laziness. And he once again repeats the hump that is black and blue. So he shows the negative effects of idleness. He asks us not to be idle, and this poem conveys that happiness comes from the physical labor, and just by just by focusing on doing physical labor, you can avoid by being lazy. And that's all. Thanks.
Okay, thank you so much, Aisha. Thank you so much. Here, if you follow the method of going sentence by sentence, line by line, make sure you read one stanza and give that whole idea of the particular stanza, because reading line by line takes time and you don't understand, right? It takes a lot of times, and just today I gave the explanation, and again you follow the same. Don't go by line, go with line by line explanation, because the line by line explanation, I can't give you that much time, you know. Line by line explanation takes a lot of time, because just imagine you explain one line for 30 seconds, then how many lines will be there, right? How many minutes it can consume. Please don't do that. If your method is that, then go with stanza by stanza. You don't want to read out the stanza. The first stanza start from this text, says this, and the second stanza start like this, and it ends with these words, and it deliver the message. This is the message. Explain, portrays through that stanza here. Okay, don't give the word by word, line by line explanation. Please don't do that. Right? Is Yadav?
Excuse me, miss. Miss, did you get my paper?
No. You are the one who sent it to Dehiwala, right? Did you get it back?
Not yet,
No,
miss.
no. I received only 5 papers. I received only 5 papers. Let me come out with the names. JD Rajapaksha, Azka. I don't know who. This is, I think, Amodhya. Amodhya, I received yours. And Hiranya, it's yours, right? Hasini Hiranya. And CO Karunaratna. Who is CO Karunaratna? Huh? Oshadi. Right? This is the only papers I received so far. I have only 5. I believe that I will get more papers this week. That's why I am waiting. We'll see. Right? But before Friday, whatever the papers I received till Friday, I'm going to do the correction discussion on this Friday. Okay? Right. Aisha, once if definitely you are going to get your paper back. If so, send it again by mentioning the Nugegura. I'm really sorry. Yeah, start.
Good evening, my dear friends and my dear teacher. So today I'm going to present about Camel's Hump by Rudyard Kipling. So in this introduction of the poem. So this poem about a camel's hump. So we talk about camel and it shifts to the humans. And this poem is about a human and dedicate poem and use the hump as metaphor, and it offers a moral lesson not to be lazy more, and a humorous poem with a powerful moral lesson. So about the poet. So Rudyard Kipling was born in Bombay, India in 1865, and he's officially an English poet and a storyteller, and he won the Nobel Prize English literature in 1907, and he's well famous for writing the Jungle Book, and he's known for the moral storytelling. Actually, the poem is it begins with the camel's hump, talks and questions, and why do we get the camel hump? And because camels are being lazy, and activity is a cure. Do activities daily, but then they shift to the human's hump. It says that the humps we get the most ugliest hump. And storyboard style sequence for the poem progression. As the central symbolism, the hump represents laziness, emotional burden, and bad temper, self-created problems. An abstract burden shaped overreact of over-human figure. As the main themes, the idleness and consequences, responsibilities and laziness, and work as healing and self-discipline. So the literary devices here is the metaphor. Metaphor is the camel's hump. So repetition and alliteration, onomatopoeia, and irony. So the tone and the style, as the poem's tone is humorous and playful, and the poem is slightly conversational and didactic. So light biscuit. As the moral lesson, the cure for this ill is not to sit still. Action is over inactivity, and discipline over comfort, and purpose to reduce negativity. As the conclusion, it's more than a children's poem. So deep insights human behavior, encourage purposeful living. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, right. Everybody have done their presentations, right? Everybody has done their presentations. So today we can start a new poem that is what? Okay. I'm going to ask a question from you guys. Do you have your own dream? Everybody keep the camera switch on. Nur Rahma, Azka, Shamira, Hirusara. Hirusara, I see you after a long time. And Aisha, why you didn't attend the revision class, writing practice class?
Miss, sometimes I have classes and when I come home, it gets late.
So it's a temporary absence, right? Not a continuous one, right?
Yeah.
That's okay then. Azka, Hiruzara, keep the camera switch on throughout the session. Do not force me to ask your presence, right? Pute, Sandika, do you have a dream? What is your ambition? Sandika, what is your ambition? What is your ambition? Amodya, what is your ambition? What do you want to be when you grow, when you are as a grown up? What do you want to be?
I have multiple ambitions, teacher.
What is the for what you have given the first preference?
CEO, the consecutive executive officer.
Executive officer in a company. Right. Is it your dream or your mama or your dada has asked you to be?
It's my dream, teacher. My parents want me to be a doctor. I don't like it.
Okay, you don't like. Is there any force from your parents, like control from your parents? Yes. Yes. Okay, so they push you. How you accept that control? Are you ready to accept it and work towards the science subjects and be a doctor one day? Or have you already rejected that? You have told your parents that I'm not going to be a doctor anyways.
Yeah, I have rejected it and they're like convincing me to do it. So I would get the job when I go to university and we don't need any experiences and get the job. So
Okay, so once you leave the medical college, definitely you are going to get the job. That is the convenient points your parents are having. Right, that's how they are trying to convince you. Okay, is that so?
yes, teacher.
Okay, right. So is there anybody else who wants to say that I have my own dream, teacher, I want to be this, right? I just badly want to do that, but from my family they are giving zero permission for that. So they are strictly against my dream and they want me to do something totally unrelated to my passion, my potential. Is there anybody in the class? You support your parents. Very support, huh? What you want to do? Touch multiple sections. Yeah. German subject. So you already have started to learn the subject German. Okay. Can you speak? Wait. So it's a self. You are learning. Okay. You are taking that subject. Okay. Right. Okay. So you have supportive parents. Is there anybody here who says that what I told you earlier, I want to be this, and I strongly, my passion teaches my dream, but from my family, they are paying the total rejection. Is there somebody in the class? No one like that? Not a single child? No. Aisha, what is your dream and what is the support given by your family?
When I was small, my parents wanted me to become a doctor. And then when I was thinking of what should I be, I also started liking to be a doctor. So now what have given,
So
like it,
personally, you want to be a doctor and your family is supportive.
yeah.
Yes. If your target is to be a doctor, definitely your family is going to support you. Definitely, yes. They don't show any rejection. If you want to be a doctor or an engineer, then your family is the most supportive. You find the most supportive parenting ever. Right? I'm asking, is there somebody who likes to stay out from this standard, like being a doctor and being an engineer? I don't want to be a doctor teacher. I don't want to be an engineer teacher. I want to be a wild photographer. I want to be a carpenter. I want to be a farmer. Like that? Is there anybody? No one. I want to do something different. Athlete. Oh, like that? No? You all want to be doctors and engineers. Right. Today I'm going to talk about a poem which talk about this childhood dreams. Okay. What about your childhood? Just forget about the future. What about your childhood? Have you enjoyed your childhood? Have you done all the mischievous things? Or you were restricted and you were pushed to the classes and you were forcefully asked to sit in front of the computer and study. I had a childhood teacher. I spent my entire childhood studying, attending classes, doing this and that. I haven't played in the rain. I didn't play in the mud. I don't know how it looks like. I don't know how it feels like I'm playing with my children with the messy head and dirty clothes. Is there anybody? I have never played with my friends. So you had a childhood which is stick to the books. That means overprotective or push towards only the academic stuff. Overprotective, because you are the only child in the family. Younger siblings, brothers or sisters? Oh, one sister, one brother. So 2 girls and 1 boy. But they are still overprotective from childhood onwards. That not allowing to eat ice cream. Our father is overprotective. So not allowing to go without the shoes, right? Always want to put the nighttime, want to wear the pajamas, and the daytime want to be with the perfect dress codes. Is that so? So this is how your family has created the environment, atmosphere for you. That's what they want you to be. Be an exact doll in the house. Yes. Somewhat, yes. Right. Is there anybody else? Teacher, I have a pathetic story to share with you during my small time. Is there anybody? Raise your hand. No, Rama? No. I have played enough, teacher. I have done all the mischievous stuff. There is nothing else, right? You have to figure out something new that I haven't done. I have done all the mischievous stuff. No worries. Right? Nobody's there? No one. But I believe nowadays children do not enjoy their childhood, right? They don't play, they don't have that freedom. After becoming a mother or after getting into a relationship even, right? Before getting married, once you are a committed one, that that I'm going to marry this person. This person is going to be that I don't even remember it. My childhood, so interesting. If it is that interesting, definitely you are going to remember it. You don't remember how was my childhood, that means you haven't enjoyed your childhood, right? You haven't enjoyed your childhood. If you have enjoyed, there should be enough incidents, enough memories that you could have narrated for days. Yo, teacher, you don't know how messy it was. Mama karapu pistu vada. Right? If you don't have like that, that means you haven't enjoyed your childhood. Right? So, you know that I have only one child now. Mama, I allow him to live his life fully. Right? Fully. Then still he is not satisfied with that, because I never force him to do the class. During your scholarship, how many classes you have attended? During your scholarship, after school classes, Saturdays and Sundays, haven't you attended classes for the scholarship? I didn't send my child for any classes. Only sometimes the school, they are conducting extra classes. No, even he comes home just after school, he won't stay for the extra classes. He comes home. When I get angry, I take another try show, take him back to the school. Otherwise, I just let him to be. Because nowadays children, like Amohadya says, my childhood was that interesting, teacher, but I don't remember it. That means they don't have enough incidents. So when they become adults, it's a kind of mental trauma. When you are a child, you should enjoy it, right? A child is an individual. He's an individual. He's having his own dreams. He's having his own passion. He is created as one whole human being, right? They are totally independent individuals, right? So we can guide them, but we can't ask them to be the version of ours. What we have missed in our life. Good. Here's Sarah. I don't have any classes since grade 1. That's great. So, what I was telling. So, we can guide them definitely, because we should not let them like cattle, right? Harak wage ela harak wage nikan ohe atare inda bähane. Have to guide, but the way they want, with the passion that they have, right? But most of the parents, if I am a teacher, I did biology, I badly wanted to be a doctor, right? I couldn't do that. I don't wanted to be a doctor. Actually, I wanted to be a pilot. My father didn't allow me to do the mathematics. My father badly wanted me to be a doctor. How did that? So I did it just because he forced me to do that. If not, I was too good at mathematics. Mama, I'm not a person who takes the books and study for hours. But for me, what happened? Just because of the biology, I put a lot of stress on that. The biology පාඩම් කරන්න ඕනනේ ගොඩාක් තියෙනවානේ. I'm not a person who sit in a corner and by heart. හැබැයි biology වලට සෑහෙන by heart කරපු නිසා මම chemistry physics මගේ හොඳ results first shy එකේම මගේ හොඳ results campus යන්න පුළුවන් වුණා. ඒ වුණාට මට medical college select වුණේ නැහැ. මම second shy කරේ නැහැ. I didn't sit for the second shy. මම ටක් ගාලා මගේ career එක මම switch වුණා IT field එකට. What I am telling here, children should be allowed to do what they want and guide them in the right path. එහෙම කියලා දැන් හිතන්නකෝ මට දැන් ක්ලාස් යන්න නැහැ මට දැන් ෆිල්ම් එකක් බලන්න ඕනි කියලා ෆිල්ම් එකක් බලන්න දෙනවා නම් අම්මවයි තාත්තවයි පාරේ දාලා ගහන්න ඕනි. කසෙන් ගහන්න ඕනි පළු යනකම්. That's not what I mean. දැන් හිතන්න එපා. Oh, seriously? So if I want to watch a movie, my parents should allow me to do that. ඒ වගේ මෝඩ හරක් වෙන්න එපා. ගොම් හරක් වෙන්න එපා. එච්චර මේ මගේ ඉස්සරහ එක්කෙනෙක් ඉඳලා හිතනවා oh, seriously? Oh, so if I want something, my parents should give. So I'm not a mother like that. I will chase you out from the house. Right? එහෙම නෙමෙයි. එහෙම ගොන් කතා විදිහට හිතන්නේ මම කියන්නේ if children they have their own dreams, parents should support them. හිතන්නකෝ දැන් එහෙම කියලා කවුද සන්දික කියනවා මට ඕනේ driver කෙනෙක් වෙන්න teacher. මම taxi driver කෙනෙක් වෙනවා. right? taxi driver කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ teacher. මට ටැක්සි එකක් අරන් දුන්නා මං එලවලා මේ සල්ලි හම්බ කරලා පවුල ගෙන්න අදත්තු කරනවානේ. ඇයි බూరు පැටියෝ ටැක්සි ඩ්‍රයිවර් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න හදලා ඔහම උගන්නලා හදලා මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ නේ. එක දැන් නිකන් අයන්න කියලා දීලා නම්බර්ස් ටික කියලා දීලා පාරට දැම්ම නම් හරිනේ නේද? So ඒ වගේ එහෙම කවුරුවත් වැඩක් නෑනේ. මිනිස්සෙක් වුණාම පොඩි challenging life එකක් මොන හරි society එකකට මොන හරි දෙයක් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඉපදුනහම ඒ නම සන්දික කියන නම බ්‍රෑන්ඩ් එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේනේ නේද? කවදා හරි නැති දවසක සන්දික has done something කියන එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේනේ. එතකොට ඒක වර්ක් කරන්න ඕනේ හැමෝම. අයින්ස්ටයින්ට මොන හරි දෙයක් කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණා නම් මේ තෝමස් අල්වා එඩිසන් අද වෙනකන් අපි යාගේ නම පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් he also the same person like you know. He has done something great. So you also can do something. එහෙම කියනවා මිසක් දැන් ටීචර් කෙනෙක් කිව්වහම සමහර දැන් හොඳ ළමයි ඇවිල්ලා හොඳට හිතනවා. ඇත්තද එහෙනම් දැන් මේ මම මගේ පේරන්ට්ස්ලා මට සපෝට් කරන්න ඕනේ මම හොඳ පාත් එකේ ඉන්නේ කියලා. සමහර ගොම් පැටවෝ ඉන්නවා මොනවා හිතන්නේ? එහෙමද? එහෙනම් හරි එහෙනම් මම ෆිල්ම් බලන්නනේ ආස. දෙක වෙනකම් ෆිල්ම් එකක් බැලුවට වැරදක් නෑනේ. එහෙනම් ෆිල්ම් බලන්න දෙන්න ඕන කියන ගොම් හරක් පැටවලුත් ඉන්නවා අපි අතර. හරිද? එහෙම ගොම් හරක් පැටියෙක් වෙන්න එපා. තේරුණානේ? හරිද? ඔයාලට බනින්නේ මම මේ මගේ ඉස්සරහා ඉන්න මට අයිති වස්තුවකට බනින්නේ මම. හරිද? ඒ නිසා ඔයාලා ගණන් ගන්න දෙපා ඒ දේවල්. Okay? Right. මම කියන්නේ පුතේ අපි අද කරන්න යන poem එක අපි කතා කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ වගේ කතාවක් ගැන. චූටි දරුවන්ගේ පුංචි අදහස් මල් වගේ සිතුවිලි තියෙන දරු පැටියන්ගේ අදහස්. ඒ දේවල් සුණු විසුණු කරලා දැම්මොත් මොනවද වෙන්නේ? right? කොහොමද දරුවෙක් තමන්ගේ natural version එක break down කරලා තව කෙනෙකුගේ desired version එකකට convert වෙන්නේ? ඒ conversion එක කොච්චර painfulද? හැබැයි ඒ conversion එක කොච්චර sustainableද කියන එක ගැන තමයි අපි කතා කරන්න යන්නේ. right නේ? ඔයාලා job එකක් Aska, keep the camera switch on. කවදා හරි ඔයාලා job එකක් කරන්න yes Pate.
Madam, when I switch on my camera, I can't continue the class. I left several times from the class.
Okay, my
Because
sound
of-
get left.
Yeah, madam.
Okay, right. Okay, keep the camera switch on then. So මොනවාද මං කියපු තේ? මොකක් හරි කියන්න හිටියා මතක වුණා. Where I was? Okay, මං හරියට explain කරපු මොනවා දැන් මතක නැහැ.
Madam, children are collapsing because of the conversion of dreams. Children are getting affected because of their changing of desire by the parents.
Yeah. Now, what did I say? Come out. Come again.
That means children are collapsing because of their dream conversion.
Yes. No. But I want to tell you, when you are trying to start a job, occupation, your earning method should be something very interesting thing to you. ඔයාලා කරන රස්සාව, if you are attending a job, it should be something very interesting. ඔයාලා උදේට නැගිටලා ආසාවෙන් ගිහිල්ලා කරන දෙයක් වෙන්න ඕනේ ඔයාලගේ රස්සාව. If not, what will happen? Every day when you attend your work, you go with sulky face. මේ මොන මල කරදරයක්ද මන් දන්නේ අදත් ගිහිල්ලා වැඩ ටික කරන්න ඕනේ කියලා යන්නේ. So you never be able to show your best version, right? Take your best version out. Do something that you like, right? Involve with something that you like, right? You should be paid off for doing something liked by you, right? Wished by you, right? You wanted to, like, your desire, your favorite, your passion. Your work should be your passion. You should be paid to do your passion, to live your passion, to live in your passion. අපි ආස කරන දේ කරනකොට පැය ගාණක් ඒක කරත් දවස් ගාණක් ඒ දේ කරත් කවදාවත් ඒකේ fed up එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයාලා you always try to give your best. You always try to perform your best. Right? එන්න ඒ තැනට යන්න ඕන. හරිද? මට හරි ආසයි ටීචර් පාර ඉඳගෙන වෙද්දත් මේ රෙදි කෑල්ලක් එලාගෙන මේ beg කරන්න. You should not think in that way, right? මාර ජොලි ෆීලිං එකක් ඇත්තනේ. මහත්තයා අම්මා තාත්තේ අම්මේ කියලා එහෙම කියන්නේ නෑනේ. හරිද? එහෙම කියන්නේ. එහෙම දේවල් වෙන්නේ නෑ. ටීචර් ටීච් කරන්න මාර ආසයි. Right? I love, right? More than anything else, I'm a housewife, I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, but I love to call myself as a teacher, right? More than anything else, like whatever happens, whatever the problems I have, once I switch on the camera or enter the classroom, I forget everything. I forget entire world and I'm in a different world, right? This is the thing that makes me super happy. මාර සතුටු වෙන job එකක් තමයි මම teaching කියලා කියන්නේ. I was offered lot of job titles, but I did not accept, and I'm not going to accept. I'm not a person who sit in a chair and fill the files. I'm not a person, right? මම කරන්නේ නැහැ. කවදාවත් කරන්නේ නැහැ. මම මේ job එකට මාර ආසයි. මට පණ තියෙනකම් මට කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනකම් මම අම්මලට තාත්තලට කියලා තියෙන්නේ. මට කවුරුද ඇවිදින්න බැරුව ගියොත් මම wheelchair එකේ ඉඳගෙන teach කරනවා. Right? So end of the days මම කියලා තියෙන මට ඉන්න එකම එක පුතයිනේ. එතකොට කවදා හරි මං හිතන් ඉන්නේ I start an orphanage, right? I start an orphanage with my own money. I have few students. I teach them. I spend there. අන්න ඒක තමයි මගේ life එකේ final goal එක විදිහට තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ because මම මාර මාසයි teaching කියන field එකට. ඒක ඔයාලට තේරෙනවා ඇති මම teach කරනකොට අයියෝ අදත් පාඩමක් ළමයි හරි කමක් නෑ එන්නකො කරමු කියලා කවදාවත් කරන්නේ නැහැනේ. හරි. ඔන්න එහෙනම් ඔන්න ඔය start එකත් එක්කලා අපි පටන් ගමු අපේ poem එක allocated me මොකක්ද Teacher, what does allocated? තිසල් කවුද මේ තිසල්? හරි. ඔන්න මං අද poem එක පටන් ගන්නවා. The Earthern Goblet. The Earthern Goblet by Harindranath Chattopadhyaya. Yada, switch off the laptop. Huh? Right. Oh, silent goblet. Oh, silent goblet, red from head to heel. How did you feel when you were being twirled upon the potter's wheel before the potter gave you to the world? I felt a conscious impulse in my clay to break away from the great potter's hand that burned so warm. I felt vast feelings of sorrow to be cast into my present form before that fatal hour that saw me captive on the potter's wheel and cast into this crimson goblet sleep. I used to feel the fragment friendship of a little flower whose root was in my bosom buried deep. The potter has drawn out the living breath of me and given me a form which is the death of me. My past, unshapely natural state was best with just one flower flaming through my breast. Aisha, keep the camera switch on. Shamira, Hirusara, he can't, right? Shamira, Aisha, Hirusara. Switch the camera on. I should change the camera angle. Remove that virtual background. Signal error. Always come out. Don't come out with any reason, Putala. Signal error. If you have signal problem, you can't join the class either. Right. We are not going to talk about the overall. We are not talk about the poet or the summary or this. And we are directly moving to the line by line explanation. After that, we'll come back to all the other things. Right. So, earthen goblet. Do you know the earthen goblet? What is the goblet? Guruletu. Earthen goblet. Mati waling hadapu guruletu. Right. Earthen goblet. So, you see the goblet. For what we are using that? Why do we need the goblet? To store the water, right? To store the water, we use the goblet, right? And it is made out of what? Clay. When you see the goblet and it is in red in color, sometimes decorated with flowers, right? But once it is broken, can you restore it to its original version? No, right? You can't restore it. You have to discard it. You have to throw it away, right? You have to throw it away. So here the writer asks, "Oh, silent goblet." So we see you a silent goblet. Silent mean what? You are already dead, right? You are not a person who is ready to speak out. If we ask something, you are not responsive. So you have come to your silent mode. That means you lost your liveliness. You lost your liveliness. And oh, silent goblet, red from head to heel. From top to heel, you have the same color. Uniformity from top to toe. Right? You are in the same color. That means there are no changes in the life. The life is going to be monotonous. Every day you look the same. You look the same. So how do you feel? So you are living a lively what we call lifeless life, like lifeless life, and you are silent. That means you are in your silent era. You are not ready to come out with your ideas. You are not ready to speak out. That means you can't do that. You have pushed to that silent corner, and you are living a monotonous life. Every day you look the same. There are no changes in you, right? And how do you feel? How do you enjoy this life? How you have accept this life? And how do you feel? What you think about that lifestyle? The speaker is directly addressing the goblet as if it were alive and capable of emotions. Silence suggests the goblet cannot truly speak, yet the speaker imagines it has a hidden story. Red from head to heel paints a vivid image of the goblet being fully colored, possibly from firming in the kiln or glazing. The speaker's main focus is emotional. They want to know the goblet's feeling during its creation. Silent, unable to speak, quiet, goblet a cup, often shaped elegantly, red, crimson colored, head to heel completely from top to bottom, feel, experience emotions or sensations. Right? The curiosity about suffering behind creation, hidden pain, apostrophe, speaking to an object. You see this apostrophe mark, double quotation. The line is under the double quotation. It shows what? The writer, the poet is speaking to the object. Personification, goblet is treated as having feelings. The writer is talking to the goblet. So the writer is expecting the answer from the goblet. There you see the technique personification. Alliteration, heel, feel. So that soft sound indicate the alliteration in the poem. Did you get the meaning and the idea of the first line? Yes, Pati? Yes. When you were being twirled, you were kept on that, what we call, මොකද පුතේ ඒකට කියන්නේ? Yeah. Rotating potter's wheel, right? Potter's wheel. When you were being twirled, potter's wheel is a සකපුවරුව නේද කියන්නේ ඔය එකට. මැටි වලින් හදන එකට කියන්නේ මැටි කර්මාන්තරයේ ඒකට යූස් කරන්නේ සකපුවර කියලා. So when you were being twirled, turn. So I know before you were created to a goblet, the lump of clay, mati guliyak, lump of clay has put on the potter's wheel and it turned until it convert into a desired shape. අපිට ඕන shape එකට turn කර. I'm totally curious about the way they turn the lump of clay into their desired shape, and I have tried my own, and when I keep the hand, I thought like it's automatically comes in the shape the way we want. So I kept the hand and from the fingers it came out like worms. අර නිකන් පණුව නිකන් එළියට දානවා වගේ තමයි ආවා මිස කිසිම device එකක් ගන්න බෑ. මම හිතුවා හෙන්න easy. අත තිබ්බා turn කරා නිකන් අත තියෙනකොට බබා වගේ එනවා කියලා තමයි මමත් හිතේ. but එහෙම නෑ. A level කාලේ ඉස්සර දැන් කොහොමද දන්නේ නෑ. A level කාලේ අපිට කරන්න තියෙනවා group project එකක් කියනවා individual project එකක් කියලා. ඒතකොට group project එක වෙනුවට අපි කරේ ඕක මේ අපේ college එකට දම්කොටුවේ පෝසිලෝන් ළඟයිනේ ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. එතකොට ගිහිල්ලා බලුවහම අපි තායමනත් නෑ මමත් හදන්නම් අද කලයක් කියලා ඉඳගත්තා. කාලයක් නෙම කාලේ කටේවත් හදාගන්න බැරුව ගියා. right? It's very difficult. කොච්චර ටර්න් කරත් ළමයි රවුමක් තිය රවුමෙන් කාලක්වත් එන්නේ නැහැ. අරි කාලක්වත් එන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක ස්කිල් එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ මං හිතන්නේ. හරිද? අපිත් අර ඉඳගෙන මෙහෙම මේවා කරලා ඉඳගෙන අතේ වතුර ටික ඔකම ගාලා තිබ්බා මම හිතුවා ඩුංගාලේ කියලා ආවා තමයි. right? When you were being told, ඔයාව එහෙම තියලා turn කරනකොට how do you feel? කොහොමද ඔයාට දැනුනේ? The speaker described the goblet's making process. Twirl shows the clay spinning quickly on the wheel. It suggests motion, loss of control, and being forced into shape. Yes, right? So as I mentioned, you take a lump of clay, put on the potter's wheel, and add with some water and try to convert into a different shape, which is not related to the clay. මැටි කියලා කියන්නේ කලයක් වෙන්නවත් ගුරුලේතුවක් වෙන්නවත් කප් එකක් වෙන්නවත් පිගානක් වෙන්නවත් රොටි හදන තැටියක් වෙන්නවත් නිර්මාණය වෙච්ච දෙයක් නෙමෙයි. It has that its original formation. The smell, the color, the flexibility is there. That flexible clay mixed with water convert into a rigid shape. Right? හදලා වේලලා ඊට පස්සේ පෝරණුවේ දාලා පුච්චලා ගත්තට පස්සේ nobody can change it. ගන්න අලුත් අවුරුද්දට කලයක් අරගෙන ගහන ඔළුවේ ටඩාන් ගාලා ගහලා ආපහු කම්බැක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? වීඩියෝ එකෙන් අර මේ රිවර්ස් කරලා කලේ ආපහු තියනවා වගේ ගත්තා වගේ ගන්න බෑනේ නේ. You can't do that. Right? Once it gone forever. So here it's that loss of control. When you were put there and turn, you can't control it. ඔයාලා දන්නවා නම් මේ autistic දරුවෝ දන්නවද? Autistic ළමයිව, have you ever seen the autistic children? Autistic children how නේද? They're very forceful. එයාලට තියෙන force එක ළමයි ආයෙ මොනත් නැහැ. autistic ළමයෙක් ඇවිල්ලා ගැහුවොත් මේ පැත්තකට ආයෙ මොනත් නැහැ. මේ පැත්ත කඩාගෙන යන්නේ. Right? They are that forceful. Right? They can't put under the control unless their energy based on something else. එතකොට මොනවද දන්නවද කරන්නේ? ඉන්දියාවල එහෙම ඒකට වෙනම treatment methods තියෙනවා. එක method එකක් තමයි ඒ දරුවන්ව tire එක තියලා ඒ tire එක turn කරනවා. They turn the tire and the tire is kept inside the dark room. They turn the tire until the child get tired. හරිද? අර දැන් අපිට උනත් කරකොල ඇතෑරියාම අරක්කු භාගයක් බිව්වා වගේනේ අපිත් ඉන්නේ නේ. කොහෙද ඉන්නේ මොනවද වෙන්නේ දන්නේ නැහැ. control එක තියාගන්න බැරි විදිහට ඉන්නේ. So that's how they are forced to do something. ඒක හරි වැරදි. ඇයි දන්නවද? The child lost its own control and forcefully does something which doesn't like by him, right? එයාට කැමැතිම නැති දෙයක් නේ කරවන්නේ. He doesn't like to do that. He don't want to do that, but he was forced to do that. එයාව force කරලා තමයි කරවන්නේ දේ. ඒ වගේ තමයි මැටි ගුලියක් අරගෙන වතුර mix කරලා potter's wheel එකේ දාලා turn කරාම මනේ මම නම් කැලේ වෙන්නේ නැහැ මම නම් මේක වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියලා කියන්න බෑ. Forcefully it is converted into the particular vessel. It is not under its control. What happened? After that, what happened? So they are not under their control even, right? They cannot be kept under anybody's control. Like a mara critical area. Autism කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? So forced transformation, lack of control. So this lump of clay convert into a vessel, not because it like to do so, but because there is no any other alternations. කරකියා ගන්න දෙයක් නැති නිසා තමයි මැටි ගුලිය අනේ අර මේ මොකද්ද පුතේ කියන්නේ මේ පොට් එකේ වැඩ කරන කෙනාට කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? කුඹලද? නෑනේ කුඹලද? කුඹලා හරි. ඒ මැටි වැඩ කරන මිනිස්සයාගේ forcefully hands වලින් බේරෙන්න බැරිකමට තමයි වෙනම vessel එකක් වෙනම shape එකක් විදිහට convert වෙනවා. ඇරුණාම ඒක කැමැත්තෙන් වෙන transformation එකක් නෙමෙයි. So visual imagery, movement of spinning. You get the picture that the clay turn into a vessel on the potter's wheel. Implied personification as if Goblet experienced the spin. Upon the potter's wheel, when you were kept on the potter's wheel, how did you feel? Before the potter gave you to the world, right? So this line clearly identifies the tool of shaping the potter's wheel. Symbolically, the wheel becomes the place where identity is imposed. It hints that a strong power controls the clay's future. So the clay, its destination is converted with the help of potter's wheel. Potter's wheel is the place where his identity is changed, right? Forcefully, the clay's identity has been changed into something else with the control of the potter's wheel, right? Potter, person who makes pots from clay wheel, spinning tool used to shape clay. So power of authority, potter's wheel, life-shaping forces, a clear scenery of pot pottery. Before the potter gave you to the world, the speaker refers to the goblet being released for use after creation. Gave you to the world suggests the goblet is now part of society and public life. Symbolically, it mirrors how people are prepared and then pushed into society. Gave, handed, delivered, world, society, public life. Entering society after being shaped. Symbolism, world is the society, personification. Right here, before the potter gave you to the world. Before you enter to the world? No. Before the potter gave you to the world. I didn't want myself to convert me into the goblet. I was forcefully transformed into a version that I don't want. And then I was sent to the public and asked me to do something that I don't want to. And then people blame me not performing it correctly. Hari වැරදි නේ ළමයි. මට කරන්න අකමැති දෙයක් මට කියලා කරවලා ඊට පස්සේ මට ඒක හරියට කරගන්න බෑ කියලා මට බනින එක කොච්චර සාධාරණයි. ඔයාලට මතක නම් ඔයාලා චූටි ඇතිනේ පුතේ අපි මමත් පොඩි මං හිතන්නේ එතකොට මේ මම මැරි කරලත් නැද්ද මන් දන්නේ නැහැ. හරියට මතක නැහැ. මැරි කරලා නැහැ. මීගමුවේ හොස්පිටල් එකේ ගර්ල් කෙනෙක් ඩොක්ටර් චෙක්අප් එකට ගිය වෙලාවේ ඒ ඩොක්ටර් රේප් කරලා උඩ තට්ටුවේ ඉඳලා මරලා බිමට දැම්මා. මතකයිද ඔයාලට? නෑනේ. You don't know, right? ඒ ඩොක්ටර් ඇවිල්ලා අනුරාධපුරේ හරිම දුප්පත් පවුලක ඉපදිච්ච පිරිමි ළමෙක්. හරිද? පිරිමි ළමෙක් ඒ ළමයාගේ පවුල් පසුබිම ප්‍රශ්න ඒ මිනිස්සයා ජේල් එකට දැම්මහම හිරගෙදරට දැම්මහම හිරගෙදර තුන් පාරක්ද කොහෙද suicide කරන්න try කරා. He tried 3 times to commit suicide. හරිද? Because of his disturbing childhood. ඒ කියන්නේ දරුවෙකුට තමන් අකමැති දෙයකට ෆෝස් කරලා ඒ දේ කරන්න මේවා කරන්න පුළුවන් පොළඹවන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒ දේ හරියට කෙරෙන්නේ නැහැ. Because that's not their passion, that's not their desire. They don't like it. They don't do it by giving their best. They do something else. තේරුණා නේද? ඒ නිසා තමයි දැන් ගොඩාක් වෛද්‍යවරු හැමෝම මම කියන්නේ නැහැ දෙවිවරු වගේ මේ වෛද්‍යවරු ඉන්නවා. හැබැයි ගොඩාක් වෛද්‍යවරු පුදුම බිස්නස් මයින්ඩඩ් නේද? ප්‍රයිවට් හොස්පිටල් එකක ගිරව් වගේ කතා කරන ඩොක්ටර්ස්ලා පබ්ලික් හොස්පිටල් එකේ මොනරු වගේ වෙනවනේ නේ? මොනරු පෙන්නුවොත් තමයි ගිරව් වෙන්නේ. මොනරව දැක්කොත් තමයි ගිරව් වෙන්නේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් මොනරුම තමයි. නේද? ප්‍රයිවට් හොස්පිටල් එකේ මගේ අම්මෝ බඩේ ඉන්න බබාව පුළුවන් නම් එයාලා උස්සලා අතේ තියාගෙන ඉන්න තරමට කතා කරන්න. පබ්ලික් හොස්පිටල් එකට ගියාම මොනවද අහන්නේ? කසාද බැඳ ගන්න දන්නව නේද? ළමයි හදා ගන්න අමාරුවක් තියෙනව නේද? එහෙනම් වදා ගන්නවා. එහෙම තමයි කතා කරන්නේ. That's how people are blaming. නර්ස්ලා දැකලා තියෙනව නේද? මේ බේබ්ස් එක ලියනවා. එන්විලොප් එකකට ටැබ්ලට්ස් එක දානවා මෙහෙම කරලා විසික් කරනවා. Did you watch that video? Arekenik blame karan. One person is blaming. Don't throw tablets like this. We are not beggars, right? We are paying the income tax. We are paying our tax, and for that we are receiving these things. කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ තමන් අකමැති දෙයකට මෙතනින් කියන්නේ හරිම ලස්සන ලයින් එකක්. Before the potter gave you to the world, not I went to the society, not I went out to provide my service to the society. I was asked to do something that I don't want, right? I was transformed forcefully to a version that I hate, and I was sent outside and asked me to do something that I don't want to do. And people are blaming me. You didn't do it properly. How can I do that? Because I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do that. This is not real me. This is not really what I want to do. This is not what I exactly wanted to do. So if you forcefully sent me there, accept the way I am. අනිවාර්යෙන් මොනවද කරන්න වෙන්නේ? accept කරන්න වෙනවා. ඒක තමයි ගොඩක් ඔයාලගේ ස්කූල් ටීචර්ස්ලා බලන්න. ටීචර්ස්ලා වෙන්නේ මොනවා නිසාද? A level කරනවා. යුනිවර්සිටි try කරනවා. යුනිවර්සිටි try කරලා යුනිවර්සිටි enter වෙන්න බැරි වුණොත් ටීචර් කෙනෙක් වෙනවා. එහෙමත් නැත්නම් මෙඩිකල් කොලේජ් යන්න බැරි නම් මොකක් හරි BSc ඩිග්‍රී එකක් දාගෙන ඊට පස්සේ ජොබ් වලට ඇප්ලයි කරලා මොනවත් හරියන්නේ නැතුනහම තමයි මොනවද කරන්නේ? හරි කමක් නැහැ කොහේ හරි ටීචින් ජොබ් එකක් හරි ඕකේ කියලා එන්නේ. ගොඩාක් ඩිග්‍රී හෝල්ඩර්ස් ටීචර්ස්ලා හොඳට අර එයාලට හරියට එයාලගේ දේවල් දරුවන්ට දෙන්න බැරියට හේතුව මොකද්ද? Teaching is not their passion. Teaching is their last option. That is the main reason. නේද? හරි. අපි ඊට පස්සේ poem එක continue කරමු. Next Tuesday, this Friday, we are going to continue our exam paper. අපි complete කරාද නෑනේ? මම ඔයාලට complete කරන්න කිව්වා ගෙදරදී. නේද? essay part එක, poetry part එක, poetry section එක මම කිව්වා ගෙදරදී කරන්න කියලා. part 1 එක මම class එකේ කෙරෙව්වා. fiction එකයි poetry එකයි ගෙදරදී කරන්න කිව්වා. ඒකේ answers ටික මම දාන්න කිව්වා කොහාටද? Padlet එකට. අපි ඒ දේ check කරමු Friday. ඒකක් තියෙනවා ඔයාලා මට එවපු papers ටිකක් තියෙනවා. අපි එන්නේ කොටස් ටික complete කරගමු. ඊට පස්සේ හැම Friday වලම 2000 කීයද පුතේ අපි කරේ 2016 paper එකද මම දුන්නේ ඔයාලට දා. You didn't attend 2016 දමෝදයා? Yes, right, 2016. So මේ සතියේ 2016 paper එක ඉවර කරනවා. මේ Friday recordings දානකොට මම 2017 paper එක දානවා. ඊළඟ සතියේ 2017 paper එක discuss කරනවා. ඒ විදිහට අපි 2025 වෙනකම් papers ටික කරමු. එතකොට ඔයාලට හොඳ preparation එකකින් paper එක කරන්න පුළුවන්. හෙට 6 ඉඳලා 8 වෙනකම් fiction class එක තියෙනවා. physical classes එන්න පුළුවන්. class එකට online join වෙන්න පුළුවන්. recording බලන option එක තියාගන්න එපා. පුළුවන් තරම් class එකට in person join වෙන්න. හරි නේද? හරි. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, teacher. Good night.
Good night, Putte.
Miss, excuse me, Miss.
Yes, Putte.
Suppose if you get my paper, could you please send me a message that you got it?
You didn't get the paper. Paper is in the LMS, Putta. LMS. It is in the LMS.
Miss, the posted paper. Suppose the paper that I posted last week. If sometimes, suppose if you get it, could you please let me know, Miss?
If I receive the paper, definitely I will let you know.
Okay, Miss. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you,
Send
Miss.
me
Bye.
send me a WhatsApp message. I'll save your number, Putta.
Sure, Miss. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Good night.
God bless. Which this one? Why? That means completely? Oh my. Are you going to go there? For what? Choir. Singing type thing. Wow. You're a part of it. So till July you don't, so June month, entire month you don't attend, but you watch the recording. Okay. Okay. Not to miss the practices. Yeah, that's true. But if you watch the recording, yeah, that's totally okay. Whenever you are available, you attend the classes and you watch the recording. Please make sure you keep in touch with me. You drop me a message if something is